Hey y'all, so you're thinking about buying a house here in Texas? Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about crap. That's right, all the stuff that comes out of your house. Where does it go, septic or a city sewer? This is the question. So in this video, we're going to be talking all about the differences in septic tanks versus city sewer, pros and cons, cost comparison, which one's better. And if you stick around to the very end, we're going to be talking about the different types of septic tanks. So buckle up, let's go. If it's your first time to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be the very first to know what's going on with the Dallas-Fort Worth real estate market, go ahead and ring that bell. My name is Jung. I am a local real estate agent here, and my team and I get phone calls every day from folks just like you, whether you're a few days or a few months out from buying or selling. So please don't hesitate to reach out, give us a call, shoot us text, email. We have a Zoom link on our YouTube banner. That's the best. So anyways, yeah, reach out. Love to hear from you. All right, so septic versus city sewer. This is a question I get a lot from people that, haven't ever bought in Texas or haven't ventured outside of the city. So basically, a septic system is this basically contained way to filter out and get the sewage out of your house and back into Mother Nature without hurting anybody or making anybody sick. And so it's typically like this concrete box that's put in the ground, and that kind of naturally filters everything out and puts the water back into the ground. So that's going to be your septic tank. And then city sewer, of course, is, all the stuff that comes out of the house runs through the sewer pipe and into the main city sewer line. From there, it runs, downhill somewhere underground into a big treatment facility that your city is going to have. And from there, they process everything out and shoot the water back in, probably to your drinking water. So it's kind of a scary thing when you think about it, but we're just trusting those guys really know what they're doing. So that's septic and that's city sewer. So pros and cons, let's talk about it. First of all, septic tank, it's only so big, right? So you can only put so much stuff in it before it gets full. So if you're having a big party or something like that, it gets too full, a lot of bad things could happen. One thing, could back up into the house. That's really the main thing. You don't want that stuff coming back into the house. Repairs, they can be costly. Sometimes septic tanks can smell. So, if the biome's not quite right in there, or there's something wrong, the odor, it's meant to come back in and through the vent pipes. Something happens, the pipe gets clogged, something like that, you're going to smell some stuff that's not going to smell good at all. You've got repairs, right? So if something goes wrong with the city sewer line, city has to fix it. If something goes wrong with the sewer line to your septic tank, you got to fix it. And then replacement costs can be costly if you have to fix it. I think most septic tanks are designed, I think they last like 30 or 40 years. So, if you do it, hopefully it's only once and your insurance covers it. But yeah, pros and cons. There's going to be more cons with septic tanks. I guess the pros to it, you're going to have a little bit of cost saving every month because you're not paying the city for all of that processing and whatnot. So let's break that down. Cost comparison. As far as install goes, I don't know if there's really a... I'm not sure which one wins on this, because if you've got to get water from the city, you're paying fees to tap into that, and then you're paying to also have somebody hook it up. So that's going to depend a lot on the city. And as far as the septic tank goes, it's also going to depend on where you're having it installed. So in which system you get, but you can probably ballpark somewhere around $7,500 for a septic tank system. It's also going to depend on the ground that you have, right? If the septic team has to go through a bunch of rock, they're going to have to get machines. It's going to cost more. But so cost comparison as far as install goes, it just depends. I'm sorry, I don't have good information on that. But as like a monthly cost, so when you have a septic tank, you are supposed to have it serviced, I think once a year is the requirement in most counties. And it is something that is regulated by the county. So if you need more information, go to the county website. They should have all the forms and everything you need. But yeah, once a year, and I think it's usually like a couple $100. I think we pay 170 in Granbury. to have it pumped, and basically they're coming in. So in a septic tank, you have like a sludge layer, which is all the crap, and then you have liquids, and at the top you've got your oils that float around, and then you're like I don't know, all the weird stuff that eats things, the microbes and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, they come in, they pump, and you don't want to get too much sludge in there, whatever. It's like you want to keep everything balanced. So yeah, a couple $100 there versus if you're paying a city. I don't know exactly how much it is. I think if I remember correctly, looking on my bill here in Fort Worth, I think like $40 a month or so goes towards the sewage type stuff. It's so it's going to depend, of course, on your city, but yeah, looking at it that way, it's about half the cost. Yeah, so which one is better? I would definitely say city sewer. If you got the chance, you know, if you're picking one or the other, city sewers, just a lot more hands off. And there's going to be less opportunity for problems. But that being said, I've lived in homes, I've got homes with both, and it's not that big of a deal. It's just, you just got to be ready for that expense when it hits. If you've got to replace it, or if something goes wrong, you got to come, you know, have somebody come out and repair it. But usually it's not like terribly expensive unless you're replacing, you know, but it fixed. So yeah, so cool. Hopefully that gives you an idea. I would not consider either one scary, but if you are buying a house that's already got a septic tank, you want to make sure that you get that checked out to make sure everything's working properly on it. You don't want to buy the house and then, you know, 2 months later find out, boom, you got to pay for a new one. So okay, 2 types of septic systems. So let's talk about them. The first, and there's a bunch of different names for these, but if you're in Texas, most people refer to it as a conventional. You may also hear leach field, and basically this is this is the one where you got the box. It's got, you know, it filters the water in one compartment into the next one, which is like your pretty much clean water, and then from there, you know, once it gets full enough, there's a pipe where it's gravity fed. It comes out this pipe and then goes through these other pipes in your yard and trickles out down. They'll have like little holes in the bottom of these pipes, and it goes down into the ground. And usually, like if you go out to look at a property and it's got a septic tank, you may notice there'll be these 2 round things on the ground. Usually they're like green plastic. And then you may notice that there's like a spot in the yard that is greener than everything else. Like it may be that all the grass is dormant, and then there's this one green spot. That's where the septic tank lines are, right? So it's just getting more water than everything else. And it's also very nutrient dense, right? Because it's taking all the stuff that you crapped out and putting that back in. With the other system, which is the aerobic, which is I think what most counties are going to. A lot of them are requiring that if you put a new system in, it has to be an aerobic. And the main difference between this is like you've got your regular, your regular box that does the regular stuff, and then you have the second box, which is basically before it goes out to the yard. It usually has some kind of like chlorine or something else that goes into it that makes it like extra clean and really, really good water that you could probably drink. I don't know. Don't do it and then get mad at me. But so it's got like this one extra process, and then it's pumped out instead of being gravity fed most of the time. But there's a pump on it. So basically, as this thing fills up, then it pumps it out, and you have a sprinkler system instead of it just going into the ground. And one of the benefits to this is with that pump, there is typically an alarm on your house. So if something's wrong with the system, or that's filling up too fast, so like if you've overused the system, instead of it backing up into your house, you're going to hear that alarm first. If that alarm goes off and you got a bunch of people over, you're like, okay, everybody, chill out with the water. Or if nobody's there and it's going off, then you've got a problem. You need to have it looked at before it becomes a big problem. So that's a little bit nicer than stuff just backing up into the house. Apart from that, those are the 2 main differences. You may hear of some other ones. There's also, people will call these different things, but for the most part, these are the terms that are typically used here in Texas. One of the cons that I forgot, typically with a septic tank, you don't want to put just anything down the drain, right? So, you have to get like special toilet paper that will dissolve better. You'll also need to get, or a lot of people, are very conscientious about what you put down the garbage disposal, because all of that stuff is going into that tank. Another pro tip here. So if you are looking at putting a septic tank in because you're building, this is something I found out the hard way. Basically, we bought a lot. We were going to build this big house on it, and then when we got the septic system designed, because you have to have so much yard space, there wasn't enough yard space left to be able to put the septic tank in, because it was a lake lot and there's a setback because of the lake and blah 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 blah. But basically, because of the the smaller size of the lot, it constrained our house. So that's something to think about. Now, obviously, most counties are going to require you have at least an acre of land to put a septic tank in, which, if that's the case, you're not going to have any problem as far as size goes. But anyways, if you got any questions we didn't hit on this, or concerns, thoughts, put them in the comments. We'll answer them as best we can. And then also we'll put some links in the description if you want to watch some of these videos on exactly how a septic tank works. There's some really good animated videos. We'll link to those. And as always, if you're looking to buy or sell, remember to keep calm. Call Tom.